Do you have a few minutes to talk about my role and growth?
Sure, what's on your mind?
I'd like to discuss a promotion based on my recent results.
Okay, let's review your impact.
I've taken on several new responsibilities this quarter.
Yes, I've noticed.
I'd like to talk about adjusting my salary to match the scope.
Let's look at the details and timing.
I'm proud of the projects I delivered this year.
You did strong work.
I'd like to discuss a raise that reflects that performance.
Bring your examples and we'll discuss options.
I want to talk about my career path on this team.
That's a good topic.
I'm aiming for the next level and would like your support.
Let's map what's needed for that promotion.
I've consistently met and exceeded my goals.
You've been dependable.
I'd like to discuss a salary increase aligned with my contributions.
I'm open to discussing it. Let's review comp guidelines.
Could we schedule time to discuss compensation?
Yes, what prompted this?
My role has expanded, and I'm leading more cross-functional work.
That's fair, let's set a meeting.
I'd like feedback on my readiness for promotion.
What makes you feel ready?
I've been operating at the next level for months.
Let's evaluate with examples and expectations.
I'd like to revisit my salary.
Is there a concern?
I believe my pay is below market for my responsibilities.
Let's review market data and internal ranges.
I've improved several processes that saved time and cost.
Yes, that was valuable.
I'd like to discuss a raise reflecting that impact.
Share the numbers and we'll take it forward.
I'm interested in moving into a senior role.
What timeline are you thinking?
Ideally this cycle, if performance supports it.
Let's align on criteria and next steps.
I'd like to be considered for promotion this review cycle.
Why now?
I've hit my targets and taken on higher-level work consistently.
Okay, let's document your achievements.
I'm grateful for opportunities here.
You've contributed a lot.
I'd like to discuss a salary increase to reflect my growth.
We can talk through a plan.
I'm doing work that used to be split across two people.
That's true.
I'd like my title and compensation to reflect that scope.
Let's review your workload and the team structure.
I've led onboarding for new hires and improved training.
That's been helpful.
I'd like to discuss a promotion to formalize that leadership.
We can explore a lead role path.
I'd like clarity on what next-level performance looks like.
Good question.
I want to align my work to promotion expectations.
I'll share the rubric and examples.
I'm interested in a compensation adjustment.
What adjustment are you seeking?
A raise that aligns with my expanded responsibilities and results.
Bring a proposal and we'll review it.
I've been mentoring others and owning key decisions.
Yes, you've stepped up.
I'd like to discuss moving into a senior title.
Let's confirm the scope and requirements.
My performance ratings have been strong over time.
I agree.
I'd like to talk about a raise based on that consistency.
We'll see what's possible in the budget.
I'd like to discuss a promotion path.
Are you looking at a specific role?
Yes, the next level within our team.
Let's identify the gaps, if any.
I've delivered 2 major projects ahead of schedule.
That was impressive.
I'd like to discuss a salary increase tied to that impact.
Let's quantify and bring it to HR.
I'm taking ownership of client relationships now.
That's a big responsibility.
I'd like my compensation to reflect this change.
That's reasonable. Let's review.
I've increased revenue and reduced churn in my accounts.
Those results matter.
I'd like to discuss a raise aligned with that performance.
Provide the metrics and we'll build the case.
I'd like to ask about promotion eligibility this quarter.
We can discuss.
I believe I'm already performing at the next level.
Let's validate that with examples.
I'm committed to growing here long term.
That's good to hear.
I'd like to discuss a compensation increase to stay competitive.
Let's compare internal bands and market trends.
I've taken on leadership during a staffing gap.
You really did.
I'd like to talk about a promotion based on that leadership.
We can evaluate a title change.
I'd like to talk about aligning my title with my work.
What feels misaligned?
I'm leading initiatives, but my title is still individual contributor.
Let's review role definitions.
I'm handling higher complexity tasks than before.
True.
I'd like to discuss a raise reflecting that increased complexity.
Okay, let's review your scope.
I'd like your guidance on how to position a promotion request.
What have you achieved?
I've improved performance, reduced errors, and led key initiatives.
That's a good story. Let's craft it.
Can we discuss compensation before annual reviews?
Why the timing?
My role changed significantly mid-year.
Understood. Let's talk sooner.
I'd like to be promoted to reflect my leadership role.
What evidence do you have?
I've led projects, mentored peers, and owned strategic planning.
That supports a strong case.
I've been consistently asked to lead meetings and decisions.
Yes, people trust you.
I'd like to discuss a promotion to formalize that responsibility.
Let's align with HR criteria.
I'm taking on duties outside my job description.
That happens sometimes.
It's become ongoing, so I'd like a salary adjustment.
Okay, document what changed.
I'd like to request a raise.
What amount are you thinking?
Based on market and performance, I'm targeting a 10% increase.
Let's see what's feasible within the band.
I'm aiming for a promotion this cycle.
What areas have you demonstrated?
Ownership, results, and cross-team influence.
Good, let's compile examples.
I want to discuss compensation because I received new certifications.
Congratulations.
They've increased my impact and responsibilities.
That's relevant, let's include it in the case.
I'm covering responsibilities for a higher level role.
Temporarily, yes.
It's been ongoing, so I'd like to discuss promotion or pay adjustment.
Fair, let's clarify expectations and timeline.
I'm seeing that my pay is below peers with similar scope.
Do you have examples?
Yes, based on internal comparisons and market ranges.
Bring the info and we'll review appropriately.
I'd like to talk about my compensation after my performance review.
Your review was strong.
I'd like my pay to reflect that rating.
I'll check what adjustments are possible.
I'm interested in a promotion, but I want to be strategic.
That's smart.
What would you recommend I focus on?
Visibility, measurable impact, and leadership behaviors.
I've reduced cycle time by 20% with process changes.
That's significant.
I'd like to discuss a raise aligned with that impact.
Let's capture the numbers clearly.
I'd like to discuss a title change.
What title are you aiming for?
Senior/lead, based on my current scope.
Let's confirm the role requirements.
I'm doing client escalations and mentoring, which are senior tasks.
True.
I'd like to discuss promotion.
We'll review and make a plan.
I'd like to revisit my compensation due to increased workload.
Can you quantify the increase?
Yes, my workload grew and I'm managing more stakeholders.
That helps, we'll use that in the request.
I'd like to discuss a mid-cycle raise.
That's not common, but possible.
My responsibilities changed significantly mid-year.
Understood, let's build the business case.
I want to stay competitive and committed here.
I appreciate that.
A compensation adjustment would help reflect my value.
Let's talk about what we can do.
I'm excited about the work, but I'm concerned about compensation alignment.
What do you mean?
My scope has grown beyond my current pay band.
Let's review the role leveling.
I'd like your feedback on whether I'm ready for a promotion.
I think you're close.
What would close the gap?
More strategic ownership and influence across teams.
I've consistently delivered high-quality work with minimal oversight.
That's true.
I'd like to discuss a raise reflecting that independence.
That's a valid point.
I want to be transparent. I'm feeling underpaid for my workload.
I'm glad you raised it.
I'd like to discuss a raise and a growth plan.
Let's do both.
I'm interested in taking on a lead title.
What would you lead?
The process improvement and training initiatives.
Let's outline the responsibilities.
I'd like to discuss compensation with HR present.
That's okay.
I want clarity on the pay band and promotion path.
We can arrange a joint meeting.
I'm doing higher-level work than my job title suggests.
Give me examples.
I'm leading strategy, not just executing tasks.
That's promotion-level behavior.
I'd like to talk about my compensation because I got a competing offer.
Thanks for telling me.
I prefer to stay, but I need alignment on pay.
Let's see what we can do.
I don't want to use another offer as pressure.
I appreciate that.
But I want fair compensation to stay.
Understood. Let's explore retention options.
I'd like to be considered for a promotion after this project's success.
The project went well.
I led key decisions and delivered measurable results.
Let's document and propose it.
Can we talk about a raise based on expanded customer-facing work?
Yes, customer work matters.
I'm handling escalations and improving satisfaction.
Great, let's capture the impact.
I'm looking for clarity on salary bands for my role.
HR can provide ranges.
I want to understand what it takes to move up.
We'll connect you with the info.
I'd like a promotion, but I'm not sure how to ask.
Start with your results.
And then connect it to the next level?
Exactly.
I built expertise in a niche area the team relies on.
Yes, you're the go-to.
I'd like compensation to reflect that specialized value.
That's a reasonable request.
I'd like a raise because my workload increased without backfill.
That's been a tough period.
I've covered it successfully.
We should recognize that.
I'm interested in promotion, but I want to ensure timing is right.
What timing are you considering?
Next cycle, if I hit these milestones.
Good, let's define them.
I've improved quality and reduced rework significantly.
That's noticeable.
I'd like a raise reflecting that contribution.
Provide metrics and we'll proceed.
I'd like to talk about my promotion readiness.
What level are you aiming for?
The next level within our job ladder.
Let's compare your work to that level.
I want to ask for a raise, but I'm nervous.
That's normal.
I'll focus on facts and impact.
That's the right approach.
I'm aiming for promotion, but I want fairness and transparency.
I agree.
Can we review the criteria together?
Yes, we'll do that.
I'd like a raise, but I know budgets are tight.
Yes, budgets are limited.
I still want to discuss what's possible.
That's fair, let's explore options.
If a raise isn't possible now, can we discuss other compensation?
Like bonus or additional PTO.
Yes, or a timeline for future adjustment.
We can talk alternatives.
I want to be promoted, but I need clear feedback.
I can give that.
What should I improve?
Increase visibility and ownership of strategy.
I'd like to request a raise based on my performance rating.
Your rating was strong.
I'd like it reflected in compensation.
I'll check the standard increase ranges.
I want to discuss promotion, but I'm not sure if the role exists.
We may need to create it.
I'm willing to define responsibilities and outcomes.
That helps, let's draft a proposal.
I'd like to share a summary of my impact this year.
Please do.
Based on that, I'd like to request a raise.
A written summary will strengthen the case.
I'd like to negotiate salary as part of my promotion.
What range are you targeting?
Based on market, I'm targeting the midpoint to upper band.
Let's see what's possible.
I'd like to revisit compensation after my performance improved significantly.
I've noticed improvement.
I've also taken on additional responsibilities.
That combination supports a discussion.
I'm interested in promotion, but I'm unsure how decisions are made.
It's based on level criteria and business need.
Can you share the criteria with me?
Yes, I'll send the framework.
I want to ask for a promotion, but I don't want to sound demanding.
Focus on facts and readiness.
So, here's what I delivered and how I'm operating.
Exactly.
If a promotion isn't available, can we discuss a raise instead?
That's possible.
I want at least compensation to reflect my scope.
We can explore both tracks.
If a raise can't happen now, can we agree on a future date?
A timeline helps.
I'd like a review in 3 months.
Let's set measurable milestones for that review.
I'd like to follow up on our salary discussion.
Thanks for following up.
Do you have any updates on approvals?
I'll share where it stands and next steps.
I'm asking for a raise, and I want to be clear about my target.
What's your target?
An increase that brings me closer to market midpoint for this role.
Okay, let's see the band and feasibility.
I want a promotion, but I also want to ensure workload is sustainable.
That's important.
I'm ready for more responsibility, but with the right support.
We'll discuss structure and resources.
I'd like to request a promotion based on consistent top performance.
Your performance has been strong.
I'm ready to take on the next level expectations officially.
Let's begin the promotion process.
Thank you for meeting with me about my promotion request.
Of course.
I'll send a summary of my achievements and the role scope I'm covering.
Perfect, then we'll align on next steps and timeline.